Welcome back to the lunch table, everybody. And before we start the podcast, I just want to shout out our sponsor, Papa J's Lambanog Vodka. Now, they've been making Lambanog for about 400 years in the Philippines, and all it takes is just this little old man to climb up the coconut tree and grab the nectar from the tree, distill it, and it's done within 7 days. It's hella good. Check them out, papajs.com. Now, let's get to the podcast. Yay! Welcome back to the lunch table, food for thought. I'm Nico Blitz. You already know where to hit that subscribe button, man. Shout out to my next guest, Brooklyn's finest, Asoh Black. What's good, bro?
How you doing?
Amazing, man.
I'm chilling.
The first question I do gotta ask you though, why the exclamation point at the end of your name?
Because I want people to know that ultimately I'm different. That's number one. That's number one. I'm coming here to make a statement.
Yeah.
And it's not just some calm ass statement. I'm here to really make a powerful ass statement. It's some shit that really makes you exclaim.
Yeah.
Who the fuck is that? That's Asoh. You feel me? Also, it just translates well on stage because I'm really an explosive character. So I'm on stage, when I say Asoh, you say Black. You're not just gonna say Black.
Asoh Black.
You gonna say you're gonna scream that shit.
Asoh Black, bro.
You know what I'm saying? You're gonna return the energy that I'm giving to you. So that's what that's all about.
You know, I was reading your bio that your PR person had sent me, and it said you have a very calm demeanor, but once you are on stage, you kind of just wild out.
Oh, hell yeah. I definitely like to think of myself as very introverted. So I like to take my time to think internally. I like to, delve into myself and, have calculated moments where I'm really, thinking through thoughts. And it's got to be something I'm doing myself. I don't want to be tainted by the opinions or the experiences of other individuals because I'm not saying that won't lead to a better outcome, but probably my most genuine, my most authentic outcome comes from me just being by myself and working through the way I think. You feel me? So that's how that calmness comes about because I have to be. Helps me think.
You know, since the top of 2020, I urged myself to start reading books, at least one book every single month,
that's
right?
Definitely a fire-ass habit.
And so one book I was reading was talking about how the internet basically influences our thoughts. And the more we pay attention, so for instance, right, let's say we talk about hip hop, right? And then Siri picks up on it. They're just going to send us a whole bunch of rappers and people who,
in that way,
right?
Yeah,
so
they're
then,
spying on us, bro.
Yeah, they're definitely spying on us,
yes.
right? But at the same time, too, it's feeding us what they think we would like. Therefore, it's kind of acting as a brain for ourselves. We're not necessarily thinking for ourselves anymore. And the more time the more time we spend time on the internet, the less time we actually have time to spend on ourselves, thinking about things internally as opposed to having an outside opinion influence us.
Yeah. I hear you. Via targeted marketing.
Yeah,
whereas,
via targeted marketing.
If you're not really thinking for yourself, believe you, there will be machines out there that will be geared toward thinking for you.
Exactly.
Shit. Yeah.
And I feel like you're the type of person to, I guess, try to internalize everything and figure out okay, what is it that Asoh Black needs to figure out today?
Yeah. What do I truly want to do? What is it? What do I want?
Yeah. What are some of those thoughts of the things that you really want in life? I know the music thing is definitely here.
Sometimes, you talking about goals or just
just goals in general, man.
Okay, some things I want comfortability for me and my family. That's number one. Number one. I want to be able to live in a world where I'm not worrying about my family, the people that I love, because if they're not number one, there can't be another number one because I'm stressing about them. If some other goal is taken care of, and they're not, then it's that goal isn't even taken care of because I can't enjoy it because I'm still stressing about the fact that goal regarding my family is not accomplished yet. So they're always gonna be number one. If I'm living in a world where I could just snap my fingers and everything that I've really wanted has come to fruition, it's a life where my family is completely comfortable. I definitely take pride in being that individual that I put the onus on myself to really change the way my family's history has been. And that's not to say we're some sad basket case where we've been stricken by life's lowest of lows. That's not what I'm saying. I'm just saying that we're not necessarily the most well off individuals. Granted, I'm incredibly proud of the accomplishments that my sisters and my brothers have been able to do. But like, I want to be the one that says, "Yep, that guy took a lifestyle that he grew up in and completely like blew it out of proportion in terms of the lifestyle that he then gave to his children. You feel me? Or that he then used to provide for his family. So I want to take it bigger than big for my family.
Yeah.
That's my
So then I do want to learn more about your family history, or at least, as far back as you can go. So it's like, what was it like for you growing up in Brooklyn, like with your family, man?
Father, mother, 6 children.
Damn.
Yeah, big ass family. We're Nigerian, so like, all we know is big families. And I love it though, because it gave me a sense of community. I never really had to feel as though like I was finding or had to search for an outlet in terms of creativity. It was always like there for me, and by means of like my siblings. Like,
yeah,
I would be inspired by, I would play with, like I would learn from. Like they were all there. They were all a whole ass community. They were there for me, and it was definitely like a support system that made me who I was, made me who I am today. And yeah, so it was. If anyone has as big as a family as I do, nothing ever stays in the fridge more than 2 days. Yeah. That shit has a 48 hours.
Well, especially with like 6 kids in the house. You feel me? Like,
you bought some shit on Monday. Do not expect it there Wednesday.
Nah, hell no. No. And you also better be the first to grab the food too.
Yeah. Yo, and you can't be grabbing the big meat in the pot no more. Rush your mom. Yo, that shit was the worst.
Yeah.
Yo, be Nigerian, having meat in the pot, knowing your pops comes home at like 8. But you know that you like the middle child, and if you don't get the big piece of meat, like it's either gonna go to a younger person because they're young, or the oldest person because that shit was terrible. Anyways.
What was like your favorite household food growing up? See, because my mom will be.
I still Google to this day, like, is it healthy to eat rice every day? Like, because I really do eat rice all the fucking time.
I just had rice and Spam last night, my boy.
I feel like that's not good, though. Like,
it really
we probably
is.
shouldn't be eating rice as often as we do.
Yeah. But is that typical, like, for, like, Nigerians to eat, like, a whole bunch of rice?
We make the best rice of all type of Africans. Like,
okay.
We got it. Jollof rice?
Jollof rice?
Yeah, come see us.
I want to say I've only had that, like, once or twice.
Well, change your life, my guy.
Yeah.
Have it a couple more times.
So we're.
Oh, you know what's good actually? What mom be making? She be making coconut rice with beans.
I've never heard of that.
Ooh, the rice
that sounds
like
crazy.
And like it has like black beans, and she feels like tomato stew.
Moms, where you at? Coconut rice?
Yo, I'm literally.
What? You put me up on game right now, bruh.
Yo, she's the reason why I'm gonna find a wife one day.
Amen to that. Were your parents were you guys first generation, like you and your siblings?
Yeah. My dad came to America, and then he brought my mom, and then they had children, and then they had more, and then they stopped at 6 because they was like, hold on, we gotta pay for these guys.
Yeah.
Like,
and you said you were like in the middle, right?
Yeah, I'm the third of 6.
Okay.
I'm the third of 6.
That's what's up.
Yeah.
And so, typically it takes a lot for our families to move over here and then think about like, okay, in your particular situation, right? It's like, okay, we got 6 children. Now I would only hope that at least one of these 6 children end up getting like a good paying job and like pay back. Like, was that their train of thought or was it a little differently?
Their train of thought is I'm gonna have 6 children because that's free labor. That's number one. that's really their train of thought. But I think they definitely knew that by having 6 children does increase your chances that like one of these offsprings are gonna like have a life that's better than the one that I lived, and they're gonna be able to take care of me. You feel me? I'm sure that was definitely in their thought process. But they're Nigerian, dude. Like they're hella strict. Failure was not an option. So I don't even think they banked on like hoping someone is gonna have a good pay. Like they expected that shit. Like my older brother is a pharmacist making stupid bank. And my older sister is right now, she's about to graduate from Harvard Business School. Like,
I'm impressed.
Excellence is really just ingrained in us. Is expected. Excellence is expected.
Yeah. So are you the only one who's like in the music realm of things?
It's funny because like I'm only as musical as I am because they forced us to like participate heavily in the choir in church growing up.
Mm-hmm.
I used to hate it, but funny how God works, right?
And man, I was in choir in 4th grade, so I know exactly what it's like, bro.
Trying to stay home.
And come up to the mic so people can hear your beautiful voice, man.
Call at 7 p.m. You're like, your children aren't here for rehearsal. They're like, what? You said you didn't have rehearsal today. This shit is terrible. But yeah, no. So we was all like pretty much kind of musical growing up, just because we always had a hand in the choir.
Mm-hmm.
But I was the only one that really took it an extra step. Like out of the 6 of us, 4 of us can sing like really well.
Oh, nice.
I'm not gonna hold you.
Yeah.
I'm not even the best singer in my family. I'm not gonna hold you.
So what made you want to pursue the musical career?
Shit made me feel important. It makes me feel important because you literally do this thing in your room that makes you feel as though, wow, all the turmoils of life I was just feeling is alleviated just because I put pen to paper. Really? Okay. Now you put that shit out. Now you have people contacting you, letting you know that whatever you did to heal your problems is helping them heal theirs. And now you're thinking, holy shit, this thing that I did for myself is not for me.
Mm-hmm.
It's bigger than that.
Yeah.
It makes me feel as though like I have a purpose. And I figured that shit out really early because, like I told you, excellence is expected. So it kind of like pit into me early, like kind of like a low tolerance for being complacent or a low tolerance for shit that isn't quality. So from the get-go, I was putting shit out that I felt as though if anything blows me up, it's gonna be this. You feel me? Like I wasn't putting shit out just to be like, all right, I'm doing this music shit. Like I know I'm gonna get better, so let me just put something. Nah, I wanted it to be always great. Mm-hmm. So because of that, people were able to easily gravitate towards my music, like early on, and I feel as though that really helped in people just like taking a likeness towards it, and like me just being more comfortable and saying, okay, like the music I'm putting out is actually important, even if it's just important to me. That would be cool, but I know that that's not the case. You feel me? This is clearly transcending to a point where it's like I can't stop.
Because I think it's one thing for an artist to create music that they enjoy, right? But then it's another thing that other people enjoy that shit too. Because at that point, your music is relatable to somebody else.
Yes, like you should be putting out music that like is relatable to other people. But like first and foremost, you're doing that shit because it's therapeutic. You feel me? Does it work? Did that song that you just made really make you happier? Are you listening to those sad ass thoughts that you just transcribed into sonic like expression? Are you listening to that and thinking, "Wow, I feel better"? If that's the case, works. Make music.
And you get that with your music.
Oh yeah. Now if it also makes other people feel good, that's great too. But if that doesn't make other people feel good, but it makes you feel good, still do it.
That's what's up.
It's not for other people.
Yeah.
It's not really for other people. It could be in it, and like it's great when it is, but like it's not. It's not. It's for you.
So I want to know, man, like what was exactly going on through your life? I'm good, bro. I'm staying away from the drugs and alcohol for the next month or so. Just a little cleanse. But what were some things that were going on in your life that I guess you needed to alleviate?
What was going on in my mind? I mean, it's not always sadness. It's not always things that need to like be like relieved or like fixed. Sometimes it's just transcribing your thoughts. Sometimes it's just like getting through something. Even if it's happiness, getting through that like
Getting through happiness.
Yeah, getting through that celebration. Because like ultimately you get happy, and then there's the point where like you have to now think about that happiness. Like, okay, can I stop here? Is this enough happiness, or do I want more? Is this, you feel me? Mm-hmm. So sometimes you go like that, and that's what your songs are about.
Yeah.
Now, I would definitely say my songs are influenced by like whatever I'm like dealing with or going through, or like whatever's happening to me at that time. Whatever life says, here, this is your task for the day. Like that's gonna influence like how I feel, and that's gonna influence like what's the temperature of my songs? Is it like very like warm? Is it something shit where you're listening and you're like, damn, like I could feel the happiness in this nigga's voice. This shit is hella warm, like hella bubbly, some Chance the Rapper type shit. You feel me? Or is it some very like cold shit, some shit that's like, damn, this nigga's sad. He wants you to really like listen to his pain type shit. You feel me? And it's like it really just depends.
I do think for the most part, like, as soon as I saw you were from Brooklyn, I was thinking about, okay, maybe he has like a Joey Badass style. You know what I mean? Like very East Coast shit.
Yo, I'm
but
not gonna
like,
hold you. I used to hate when motherfuckers told me that, like, oh, yo, you remind me of Joey Badass. You look like, I mean, you sound exactly like that. Just cause it's like you from New York and you like, oh, like damn, like I want my own sound.
like,
I want like that.
yeah, yeah,
And
yeah.
it's very easy for people like you sound like Joe. It's just I feel like it's just easy. But at the same time, it's like then I used to like then I just came to a point where like I was like dissecting what that is. Like people really like people tell me I sound like Joey. They sound like Mick. They sound like Logic. I sound like all these people, right? It's not always the same person, but it's all these different people. But it's like, really, you just told me I sound like some nigga that you fuck with, that you like listening to. So I started to accept it for what it was. It's like, that's your perception. If I sound like Joey to you, who might have just not?
Yeah. But what I'm saying is just like, I think when somebody looks at like Brooklyn or New York and they see that that's where you're from, they already expect a certain sound. You know, they expect like a Joey Badass, right? But when I do listen to you, I'm just like, oh, this sounds nothing like, you know what I mean? This sounds nothing like how I would imagine like Brooklyn hip hop would sound like.
Yeah, because it's like, as much as, yes, these different parts of the nation have their signature sounds, you can't really, like I said, like, we make music based on how we feel. You can't really, like, say I should make music to be consistent when realistically the things that I'm making music from aren't consistent. Like, does that really add up? You feel me? Like, so I can't really sit here and say, yeah, I have to chase a sound that's like Brooklyn because it's this one sound and it's gonna make you feel like this. It's gonna make you think of something that looks like this. The music video is gonna look like this because this is Brooklyn. When realistically, like, the people in Brooklyn are incredibly different.
It's a melting pot.
We all have, just like anywhere in this world, we all have our different experiences. My music should not sound like anyone from Brooklyn just because I'm someone from Brooklyn.
Amen to that.
Because you could be someone from LA with the lifestyle that's like someone from Brooklyn. And your music will not sound like a nigga that's from Brooklyn.
That's
you're
true.
Not him. You feel me?
That's why I also to like bank on that point too. You think about like one of the greatest rappers to ever bless this planet, Kendrick Lamar, right?
Yes.
He's from LA, but he sounds nothing like how you would think LA actually sounds like.
Really?
You know what I mean? Because you got like people like the YGs and the One Take Jakes of the world, and that's kind of like what LA unanimously represents. But to my point being is just like, I think artists are so quick to pigeonhole themselves into being, well, if I'm from Brooklyn, I'm going to rap like I'm from Brooklyn.
You know why? Because that's more marketable. It's easier for, like, I feel like, a label not to pick sides or anything, but I definitely feel like it's easy for an entity, not even just a label, anyone to like just market you. Just market you. Say you would appeal to this group of individuals. If you're saying, okay, I have this specific sound, and they know this specific demographic likes this specific sound, and artists see that and they say, well, if that's the easiest way to get this bag, not even like the longevity bag, but this current bag that they're seeing and that's glitter gold to them, yeah, I'm gonna make that sound because people are gonna say he's easily marketable. I don't have to guess like who's gonna like his music because it's so different, because it's so like it's always so forever changing. It's less guesswork. You feel me? So artists gravitate to it. Personally, I can't do that, though.
Yeah. So then how's your journey been since, I guess being let's say you made what Brooklyn rap was supposed to sound like, right? And you saying that's very easily marketable. So on the contrary, are you saying that like your music isn't as easily marketable?
I'm not even talking about Brooklyn. I'm not even just talking about Brooklyn rap. I'm just talking about people who just, because you said artists pigeonhole themselves, right? I'm just saying sometimes that's the case because like they know that if I'm to kind of like put myself in those shoes, have you heard? All right, so I have this song called Foolie, right? And it's very like people are saying it's like very West Coast sounding because it's bouncy and like it just has certain elements of it. If I were to say, wow, that's like the sound that people are really fucking with the most, I'm gonna only make that type of music. because I know that like the West Coast niggas is already saying they fuck with it. That's what I'm saying. It's like people are saying that it's easy to market yourself when you just have one sound. But sometimes that easy marketing channel is not the best marketing channel. Maybe it takes time for your music to get acclimated to different regions, because ultimately that's where you belong, to a nation, not a community. You feel me?
I like that.
I mean,
I got you. Yeah.
At least it's connected.
I get what you're saying now, because I think on the contrary too, it's just like if Lil Nas X, for example, kept on making songs that sounded like Old Town Road, it's kind of like, well, we wouldn't get the songs like Panini or his EP that just sounded amazing.
Also, it's just you feel more like yourself. You feel more like an artist when you're really like not allowing yourself to be influenced by parameters. Because the whole basis of being an artist is you feel as though you're boundless. Your creativity knows no ceiling. You feel me? The best artists really take pride in the fact that they could wake up, have a crazy ass thought, and I don't care how long it's going to take me to transcribe it, I'm going to make this shit tangible. Is it going to be a painting? Is it going to be a song? Is it going to be a spoken word piece? I don't care. It doesn't matter. But I'm going to get these thoughts off. You feel me?
Mm-hmm.
And if you really, like, accepting that you have bounds, that really takes away from your innate pleasures of being who you say you are. But that's just how I think.
Damn, man. The Papa J's Lambano got you on one now, huh?
Yo, my man doing the quick plug. He said they give you free liquor. Gotta say the name.
Nah, but also the weed, man. I'm over here thinking like, damn, this guy's preaching right now. No, because that's some real shit.
I'm just speaking.
Because at the same time, it's like, how can you be... I don't like the term artist that's used today, because I think rappers mistaken the word artist for just, I'm going to do rap, I'm only going to do rap only. And I think to your point... I feel
that way about the word rapper.
Yeah, well, that too. But like, I think people limit the word artist to just, I'm going to do one thing and one thing only.
Okay.
And the way you're saying it is just like, well, the definition of an artist is someone who's boundless, creative, and creative has no limitations. But when people start to limit themselves under that word artist, it's kind of like you're kind of being a hypocrite in some sort, because you're not actually an artist. That's just what you think you are.
But, and like, I'm not going to say that's wrong, but at the same time, I understand it. If you are someone that, like, then, like, allows yourself to be within bounds because it's more marketable, because, like, you understand that, like, that's how I'm going to feed myself, who am I to judge that? You feel me? I can't. That's your lane. So I understand it. This is nothing new. You feel me? Like, the market, the pressures that the market places upon artists and how it forces them to change the way they do their art has been going back to times of, like, Chinese art and the, like, when, like, OD times ago, you feel me? Where, like, they used to, like, they used to make their art tangibly, you feel me, like on canvases, and then the technology allowed them to be able to adapt to a more digital platform where they were doing digital prints of their shits. And now, instead of like actually physically painting something over and over 100 times, I could just paint this shit once, and now it's gonna spread to 100 people. Now it's easily more. Now the market allows me to, like, change up the way I'm doing this art, because now it's not. Cause the digital is not like the canvas. You feel me? And as an artist, you're saying to yourself, damn, should I just, like, be boundless and, like, always, like, just do, like, a painting, like, as is? Or can I just be within bounds, and because, like, I want to, like, make more money, just, like, you know what I'm saying, like, appeal to the market, do my shits digitally and get 100 prints, and the same time it's gonna take me to do one. You feel me? So sometimes, just because the market allows you to make more bread or it just forces you to be a certain way, it hinders the art. It doesn't hinder, actually, but it forces you to change the way you do that shit. And as like someone who's, like, outside that bubble, whether or not you're knocking it, just speaks to your understanding of it. Because if you truly understand, you can't knock it. It is what it is. Whatever you decide to do as an artist, because your environment forces that decision upon you, like, guess.
Asoh Black, man. I feel like we can get a TED Talk out of you one day.
Listen, you gonna get a TED Talk. You gonna get a whole like State of the Union.
I could probably just hear you talk all day, man, because the
Bro,
shit you're saying is making sense.
Listen to the music. Let's hope you feel the same.
So Asoh, man, I'm going through your discography, and it seems like there's a lot of pockets in your release dates. Like you'll release something like in the summertime, and then something like in November, and then from November until now, you haven't necessarily released anything. But you have your project, Black Ocean, out February.
Wait, yes.
What's with all the pockets and all the hiatuses?
Well, realistically, like I said, the experience is what's dictating like the making of the music. So it wasn't. I didn't keep a timeline based off of like, okay, I needed to like I need to release this shit right here on this week. Or on this week.
Mm-hmm.
When I was making music, like I would say for the past year or two, it was a case where like I was just making it, and I was releasing it. Yes, I wanted to be consistent, so I do some things called like Asoh attacks, where like the top of last year, 2018, I just went where I dropped a song every week for 11 weeks, just because I wanted to build the hype.
Mm-hmm.
But I did just recently get to a point where I was just like, you know what? I just need a whole project that like people can really like soak in the experience and really like sit with and like just grow. Just a lot. I just needed a project where people could say, yeah, this is undoubtedly my favorite like experience. I think so. I've been watching him grow, and this leap and bound is by far the most complete. So I took my time, but that's why like yes, it was consistent up until a point, and then like for like a good portion of last year, I only released like a couple songs, because I realized like I gotta really like draft something that I'm not gonna be looking back thinking, damn, I needed more time for this.
Mm-hmm. Well, it goes back to the fact that you saying you're an extremely calculated person. And I think as to what you were saying too, the best music comes from experiences. If you're always in the studio, you know what I'm saying, just trying to crank things out 24/7, and you're not experiencing the outside world, it's like, where can you really draw your inspiration from?
Yeah, yes, bro. I've been telling my people since we've been out here, like just the experiences that we've been doing in the past couple of days, like. It's enough for me to want to make a song, just because like I'm having so many thoughts. I'm like, damn, I need to say this shit. You feel me? Like, or wow, it's crazy. Like, just making songs, just based off like your ability to be influenced by shit. It's like step out the crib, like see what the world has to offer.
All right, y'all. So long story short, I was DJing at the club the other night, and they were passing out free bottles. As soon as I took a shot of this drink, I turned back to the guy. I said, "What is this?" He said it's Papa J's Lambanog straight from the Philippines. I'm talking about I had a couple of these shots throughout the night, and I was feeling hella good by the time I was done DJing. I didn't even have a stank face with any single shot that I took. Now, if you go to papajs.com right now and use the promo code LUNCH, you'll get $25 off delivery and have Papa J's directly onto your doorstep. Yay! So why call the new project Black Ocean?
So, realistically, Black Ocean, I'm trying to think in my head, do I really want to, like, give you the whole spiel? Because realistically, like, that's something that the music is going to, like, tell you about it. I would say it's like this, because this is only season 1.
Ooh.
Ultimately, Black Ocean is... Black Ocean is a series where each book that you read is just going to give you that much more clarity as to the intentions of the installment beforehand. So that is to say, you're going to really have to get to the end of the fucking series to really understand, like, oh, shit, that's what Black Ocean is. So I feel like I'd be doing you a disservice and doing everyone that's going to listen to this service if I really just, like, spoon feed you the meaning of Black Ocean.
I get you. So I think if I were to draw like a comparison, right, it's kind of like watching Star Wars for the first time.
I never watched Star Wars. I'm not gonna hold you.
All right. So okay, let me kind of like dumb it down a little bit more, but more so it's like you have a story. It's like the first part of the story, and it's basically it's incomplete up until you get to the end.
Okay. Yeah.
Is that what you're trying?
Exactly.
Okay. I get you.
It's incomplete. It's incomplete to y'all for sure. I know exactly what's going on the entire time.
So then, how many, I guess, of the Black Ocean series are we gonna get?
We gonna see.
PR trained, man. I fuck with you.
I'm just saying.
But you do have like
surprise is my shit. Like the element of surprise, like that's my shit. I like being subtle. I like because you got with me. If you're a fan of me, you're gonna have to think. It's not gonna be something you just like. You just grow bored of because it's so predictable. Nah.
I get you.
And as an artist, it's gonna make me feel as though like, all right, I'm not done growing because I gotta find more and more ways to keep the fans on their toes. How can I like just be as subtle as possible?
Yeah, you're kind of blue balling the fans. You feel me?
Yeah, I mean, OD and T's, yeah. For sure.
That's what's up, man. Well, February 13th, the project. It's not an album, right? It's just a project.
No.
Actually,
it's a mixtape.
Debut mixtape, Black Ocean dropping. So now we're just gonna go through like a round of very quick questions, Asoh Black.
Say what you will.
So obviously we're at the lunch table. So what's your favorite lunch?
Fuck. Yo, I'm not gonna hold you. I be trying to get my 3 meals in every day, but some days you just wake up and you're like,
oh, you meal prepping, huh?
This afternoon. Anyways, my favorite lunch. I'm a Brooklyn dude. You feel me? Chopped cheese.
Okay.
Cause it's like sometimes I'll just be waking up and it's already lunch and I just gotta go to the deli. You feel me? And it's like, all right, chopped cheese, Swiss.
What are your other interests outside of rap?
Technology. I'm a heavy advocate for technology. That there's fashion. I feel as though we are walking representations of what we think is art.
As I'm looking at his outfit right now.
Trivia, you're right. But what else? I guess if I really loved it, I would have said it, right?
Yeah, right? Shout out to technology, man. Yeah. Did you know that in Japan, they actually have a phone that is illegal in the United States?
Why? How so?
Because the technology is way too advanced, and then they don't want... I don't know what it is, but then basically, like, Apple and all the big companies just don't want this technology in here because if we get our hands on it and we're able to utilize this technology and make it our own, then it would basically overthrow Apple.
Of course, it's always about that.
It's that type of stuff.
It's gonna come.
Don't you ever get scared of, like, you ever watch Smart House growing up?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Oh, if the house starts speaking to me,
yeah, bro.
We moving next.
Like, I ain't fucking with that.
No, bro. What? The moment I say something to Siri and she take more than 10 seconds to answer, and she still answered, that is to say she was thinking.
Yeah, she thinking, bro.
I need a new phone.
Asoh Black, who was your dream collaboration, both artist and producer?
Oh, yo, be a fire song. A song where we got it produced by definitely someone in my pocket, Sundown. I need him on my classics, regardless of where I am with the shit. Sundown on it. Let's say.
Come on, man.
So I'm trying to think of a crazy, a really nice producer right now. So there's this dude named my best friend Jacob. He's a producer from Toronto. He produced
one of your records, right?
Yeah, he produced Foolie. He produced a couple of these other joints in my project. So fire. Him, and I would say maybe Timbaland.
See you on a Timbo beat.
The three of them produce some like fire shit where you got Janae Aiko on the hook. You got Drake on verse 1. And you got me on verse 2. And maybe Cole finish it out.
You know, I feel like you've thought about this because that's a very particular situation.
Actually, get Reed and Janae on the hook. Yo, that shit will go up. Niggas
should go up, man.
That song for months, years.
All I know is, bro, like if that ends up happening, you owe me like 5% for just speaking into existence on this podcast.
You got the visual on February 4th.
Yeah, right. Last question, man. What is one interesting music fact about you that people may or may not know? Maybe you had written for someone or produced something.
I have a song called Foolie out, and it's funny because with this project, I've been telling myself to take my time with my shit. So like, beforehand, I would finish the song, and as soon as it's finished, I'm thinking of like, okay, like, how can I put this out? Like, what are the avenues at which I can put it out? What are the other things I got to think about that comes with a release, such as like cover art or like schedule? Like, you feel me? Mm-hmm. With these songs, I was like, I'm gonna take my time. That is to say, like, I would make a song and really like wake up the next day and think like, how could I just make this shit better? Fresh mind, fresh vocals, all that shit. How can I improve this shit? Mm-hmm. For Foolie, I made a song on that beat. Next day, scrapped the whole shit, just made something completely different. Listen, and that's what Foolie became to be. Is.
All right,
it's so different. Like if when the song starts, it goes, "Where'd you run?"
Yeah.
I don't know if you can hear that in the start, but like I was thinking of a hook. It was like, "Where'd you run?" I've been thinking on my worst days, like, where'd you run? And like, I just scrapped that whole shit, and I was like, bad bitch, but I bet she let the nigga focus on savage, yo. And it just changed. It is what it is.
That's what's up, man. So Foolie's basically Foolie 2.0.
It is,
basically.
Yeah, V2, for sure.
That's what's up, man. Well, Asoh Black, I'm happy to have you on the lunch table, man. Where can everybody find you?
Yo, Asoh Black on all streaming platforms where we listen to music. It's Asoh Black, ASOHBLACK on all like social media, Twitter. I be tweeting. I be recklessly tweeting. I need to stop. I stop.
Oh shit.
I stop recklessly tweeting. Instagram, anywhere.
Check out that Black Ocean Project ASAP.
It is coming.
Yes. This is the lunch table, food for thought. I'm Nico Blitz, Asoh Black, and we are out, everybody. Yay! Good shit.